察局的一个互动。那这个互动呢，最主要是在最近这么紧张的情势之下呢，我们可以有找到一个共同的方法来解决一些该解决的问题。这个整个会议的场所是大家发表自己的看法，让警察局能完全的听到我们所要求的，还有能配合的。我想这个对整个社区来讲会有一个正面的影响。
Local community here in Flushing and just discuss, what's going on, some of their fears and some of their questions that they may have regarding some a rise in hate crimes and hate crimes reporting. So it's important for us to have an honest conversation, informative conversation, how they can report crimes, how they can get direct access to us and find out what's going on. And we just want to make sure they feel comfortable. They know the police department is 100% in their corner. We don't stand for any type of hate in any form. So we want the community to know the 109 precinct and the NYPD are here to help. We're here for you, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us and whatever we can do to help you.
It's a very, very happy time after we have many hate crimes happen in our community, in our city, in everywhere of America. So today is a good chance the NYPD arrange the meeting for both sides discussing. Maybe we can find some of the solution to help in the future. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everybody here, and including someone in the room. But I want to tell you, because our meeting is not too long. So if you do have some question, I prefer everybody not more than 2 minutes speaking. And we also have 2 translators over here. Neng Wang, stand up. He will translate in Mandarin to you. If you need, shake your hand, and then he will translation for you. And we have another translator in Korean, Park, Tess Park. He is our long-time community leader here. And if you need him to translate in Korean, then you are very welcome. But remember, when you have questions or you have something to discuss, please, not speaking more than 2 minutes. And when you stand up to speaking, tell your name, including your representative, yourself, or your organization, your representative. That will be very helpful. So I was thank you. So for the set time, first of all, I'm very happy to see the elected officially concerning and care about what happened over now in everywhere. And I saw him went to the Long Island. I saw him went to everywhere to speaking for the Asian people. Let's welcome our State Senator, Jiang Liu.
Thank you, Peter. Good afternoon, everyone. Very happy that this forum is taking place right here in our community. I want to thank our commanding officer of the 109th, and I want to thank the head of the Hate Crimes Task Force for joining us today. There are lots of discussions that need to be had. And I pride myself here in Flushing as a resident of a community that has always worked very closely with our local police precinct. We've got very strong ties. The FCBA for decades has maintained a close working relationship with the 109 precinct, or even less violent but still vile acts, such as people's homes being vandalized, restaurants and businesses being boycotted, our children being attacked in playgrounds, which happened just on Tuesday, and lots of other things that make us feel uncomfortable. I want to say first and foremost, it's not our job to determine what is illegal, what is a crime, what is a hate crime, and what is a bias incident. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, it should not have happened. If you feel uncomfortable about something, report it and say something and post it. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, FCBA, for your continued leadership on this. And I pray and hope that everybody will be safe and vigilant. Keep our eyes open. If we see something, we should say something and post it. Don't be afraid to post it on WeChat or Facebook or whatever social media you use. Thank you so much.
Let's welcome our mayor of Flushing. He is always that guy to care about the business. Let's welcome our Councilman Peter Koo.
We are talking about solutions, already happened already, but we want the police and the hate crime unit to tell us how to prevent hate crime, and what happen, what you do is if you become a victim of the hate crime. We want solutions, So we want elected officials in Albany to reform the criminal justice system, so that I always thought about. Some people think about the easy way, right? They say, "Oh, we should have less penalty." I always think to stop hate crimes, to stop crimes, we have to have penalty. And the street was closed down because of the COVID. All the businesses are closed. I didn't pay attention to anyone following me. I have a headphone on, listening to the music. So I didn't know somebody was actually behind me and hit me. So from now on, I don't use a headphone anymore on the streets now, no more. And always turn around and look around, and see if nobody follow you. And when you go home at night, make sure you ask people to go in groups, 2 or 3, or ask someone to meet you at the station. You walk home together, things like that. Yeah, the common sense stuff. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you once again for FCBA. Thank you.
Anyone is king of Flushing, and Peter is mayor of Flushing. Let's welcome our king of Flushing to say a few words.
Peter, thank you for hosting all this for us. I appreciate it very much. And of course, Senator Liu and Councilman Koo, thank you very much for your comments. And we feel it too. We feel the same sense of urgency, and we feel the same sense of need to help and be more supportive too. And for me, it's just as personal, believe it or not. Some of you may know this, you may not know it. My sister married a Chinese guy. My brother married a Chinese girl. I have five nephews, 4 Asian boys and 1 Asian female. So it's personal to me too. I hear them ask questions, do they feel safe? So it's very personal to me as well. It's not just a job for me, it's family. It affects a lot. My sister-in-law's family is from Flushing, so it's very important to me. It's not just they ask us to do something, Peter jumps on board, he'll be right there with me, and he'll help me do it together. And as we work together, community policing, there's nothing we can't accomplish. It's important that we control the narrative in what's going on in some of these incidents. And with that, I encourage you to reach out to community leaders and get the true story about what's going on. I always encourage that Peter 1 and Peter 2 and Councilman and Senator Liu to call our community affairs officers, Officers Aries and Huang and Officer Wang, who are outstanding. And they'll be able to let you know the true narrative of what's going on, because sometimes the social media and things like that can really kind of tell a different story than what's really going on. I encourage you to reach out to our community affairs officers or call the 109 precinct directly, and you get a little bit more true narrative of what's going on and what you need to do to protect yourselves and protect your family. Because sometimes the stories just build up these great fears, and unfortunately that's what gets out there and makes people even feel more unsafe and more uncomfortable. The reality of what's going on is enough to make you feel unsafe. But the rumors making it even bigger is making it much worse for all of us. So I encourage you to reach out to our community affairs officer, reach out to the NYPD community affairs office, And you'll get the true narrative of what's going on and what our advice is for you to protect yourselves and protect your family. But ultimately, I just wanted to thank you very much for being here for such an important event. And please know the 109 Precinct, the NYPD, are fully in support of our community, and whatever we can do to help you feel safer, please put us to task and let us help you. Thank you very much.
I'm very honored to introduce her. She's help us. Everything goes in all the hate crime become. Okay, let's welcome our Inspector Corey.
I want to thank Peter too for putting this together, and Councilmember Coop for being here and supporting us. I know the senator had to leave. First, I'd like to also thank Deputy Inspector O'Connell for putting this together and his great team in Community Affairs. And also to mention that Deputy Inspector O'Connell is Deputy Inspector O'Connell today. He was promoted yesterday. So congratulations to him for the great job that he's done. Reprehensible. We don't condone it. Just mere speech with no threat, with no other crime, is not something that we investigate. So I just think there's some confusion on that. We want to make sure that everybody understands that. It doesn't mean we don't care. We do. But it's not a crime. You don't have to know whether you're a victim of a hate crime to report a crime. If you're a victim of crime, whether we investigate it as a hate crime or not, we want you to report it. We want you to call 911 immediately if you're the victim of a crime. Because the faster we know it's happened, the faster we can respond and hopefully catch the perpetrators, maybe right there at the scene. Maybe we can find some evidence at the scene. Maybe there are bystanders, witnesses that we can find at that moment that we can get information from that are going to be gone if it's not until you get home or the next day or a week later when you report it. So they can transfer to the language line and know what language they're transferring to. So I'm going to bring up Principal Jones and Police Communications Technician Wong Gambardella, and they're just going to speak very briefly about what I just said.
Inspector, thank you for having us here. And just to piggyback off of what the inspector said.
Can you tell us what your name is?
Yes, most certainly. I am Principal Sharima Jones, and I work for 911, and I would say in one of, I would consider one of the best cities, in the world. And what makes New York City so great is that we are so diverse. And we are a city that speaks so many different languages. And what our mission is at 911 is to provide emergency services to every member of the city, regardless of the language it is that you speak. What I would like to say at this moment is that we want to encourage this community to call 911. We don't want you to be fearful or apprehensive that if you are experiencing or you need emergency assistance, that we will not be able to help you because we do not understand you. As the inspector said, the best thing that we can do, or the best thing that you can do, is to help us to help you.
Speak, but don't be discouraged by the English you hear. You always hear 911. Do you need police, fire, or medical? But then at that point, you never hang up. Don't hang up the phone. Just say the language you speak. Korean, Mandarin, Vietnamese, whichever the language. We have over 100, 200 languages, 240 languages. And then we will connect you immediately to the interpreter.
We were able to solve with cameras. So if you can install them, you make sure that they're working properly. Sometimes we go to a business, they have great cameras, but there's scaffolding in front of them, or the camera's not working, or the DVR is not working. So just make sure that those are working and know how important it is, and anything that can be installed is phenomenal help for us. To become police officers, traffic agents, communications technicians, we have all these positions available. All they have to do is apply. And I think that's it. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Okay, the first comment I would like to ask him, Ellen Young from Assembly Ranking Office. You have any comments for us?
The authority doesn't have to judge. The victim doesn't have to judge. Let's set special investigation on each case when the victim said, I believe it's a hate crime because I was hurt or my family was killed. It's a hate crime, no matter in Atlanta or wherever. Let's have special investigation on each case being reported. The victim believes it's a hate crime. And the authority said, no, it's not. He just had a bad day. How's that? This is my request or my demand. I think it's everybody, every American should have the concept in demanding.
So this is a lifetime I respect. I asking everybody can do something like this, then you will be safety. And second comment I would like to asking the FCBA President Dai Hong.
First of all, based on the ABC Channel 7, the news report, and this year so far, the Asian hate criminal, it could be double than last year, the whole year, right? So that's a bad news. So that's why give us urge. We should not hate each other. We should help each other to keep our community safe and prosperity, right? So I just represent the FCBA and the community. I appreciate the NYPD and especially for 109. You guys did a very good job to keep the city and keep the community safe.
Okay, now, Park, look at your comments.
My name is Terrence Park. I represent Asian American Voters Alliance. We have about 1.25 Asian populations in New York City. Of 1.25, we have about 350,000 registered voters in New York City. And we have an awesome contribution and power in political due process in New York City. And we must exercise our rights to make this city better. That we all have to come together to support Asian American community and against any hatred, violence, and crimes against anyone. And I think this is a very good auspicious sign that we must encourage everyone to come together. Don't be afraid.
Let them help. Okay. So, Tim Stone's there? No? Okay, Mitch from CPC.
Good afternoon. My name is Mitchell Wu. I'm the director of our Queen Services of the Chinese American Planning Council, CPC. We are the nation's largest Asian-serving nonprofit, been around since 1965, serving over 60,000 New Yorkers per year. That being said, ever since the pandemic hit last year, we've actually been doubling down and tripling down, serving our communities, everything from food insecurity, to loss of job and benefits, to, and everything that's been impacted by COVID, loss of family members, and, sad to say, also the rise of hate crimes. I just really hope, again, we address these things. I want the community to be aware of how to report, and hopefully, this will be the first of the beginning of a dialogue of how we could really address these long-standing issues. Thank you very much for this time.
I would like to invite the Hawkins, our senior American citizen. You want to have some comments for us?
I would say that in communities, it's possible, like somebody just said before, we make it, help a group to report our association, the community happy. A lot to keep going on. Only, let's say, just keep meeting, keep saying every day, but nothing work. That's what I worry about. Thank you, everybody.
You're very safety, we feel harmony. So the young generation, lawyer, you have some comments?
If you're only seeing people saying bad word to you, right? That's not a crime. But if they say anything bad, make you feel like you are being harassed, you are being like gonna be hurt in the next minute, then this is the crime. So I really suggest if you guys are confused, this is the crime or not crime, you can always call the law firm. And my name is Fan. I'm the partner and senior attorney from the Keystone Law Firm. So if you guys have any questions, you can always feel free to call me, and I'm willing to do pro bono, to do free service to help the community.
That The NYPD does not look at your legal status. We are prohibited from looking at your legal status. We want you to come forward. We will not, your immigration status is irrelevant to us. We want you to come forward whether you're the victim or the witness to a crime. And we will not look at your immigration status.
Some problem? Yeah? You have some comments?
Business owner and the staff really get us worried. That's why I come with some of our laundry business owner here to see what kind of actions, real actions that can be taken to support. And I'm looking forward to seeing some real actions being taken against hate crimes, not just Asian hate crimes, but any hate crimes. Thank you.
Not feeling safe there because maybe there was someone there the day before making some crazy statements. So the more intelligence you give me, the better I can deploy my resources to make you feel safer. The better I can request additional resources from the NYPD and our other city agencies to help you feel safer.
Go to the 3 local precincts. None of them can do anything because nobody's reporting to police. Yes, they admit that they know that they're robberies, but nobody's admitting it. And if the chief does not know from the data, he can't just out of thin air and say, hey, I'm going to deploy a whole unit to Flushing where there's no data or information to back that up.
The former team of QCC, Queensboro Community College.
We are all in this together, and I think it's a wake-up call for all of us to start working together with the NYPD, with community leaders, with our elected officials, and across boundaries, traditional boundaries and barriers, across community.
Because without public safety, we have nothing. We are immigrants. We come to America. We are seeking an American dream, a better future. And this better future, we rely on the public safety. Asian hate crime, because you care and you wish. You spend your time here to listening. You spend your time to representative how much we care, how much we love, how much we appreciate what NYPD do for us. And they hear us. I believe it. This is solution to help for. They can do more better job. We can do more better job. And I believe in the commissioner of NYPD will hear it. Mayor will hear it. Many officials will watch what are we doing today. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate it.